He's been more of a doubles and triples hitter than a home run hitter, but he has beaten some fighters down in the late rounds with these kinds of stiff punches.
Copy box numbers in round 3. Jones opened up on offense for the first time. 22 out of 52 power shots landed. Harold, how do you have it scored through 3?
Okay, Jim. 29-28. 2 rounds to 1. Glen Johnson. Jim, I gotta tell you something. The greatness of Roy Jones Jr. was always that when you rushed him, when you threw a punch at him, he wasn't there. He'd crack you with a left hook and he'd move. He'd spin, he'd get the hell out of there. In this fight, Johnson could get him just like that. Jones is right in front of him. In the 3rd round, I thought Roy was more elusive. He won that on good defense, but so far, it's Glen Johnson on effective aggressiveness.
Is Harold right, Emmanuel? Does Jones, in your view, not have the legs that he had as recently as 2-3 years ago?
Well, he's not using them, and I agree with Harold 100%. At this stage here, Johnson is fighting a perfect fight. I think he expanded too much the 1st round, but beyond that, he's keeping pressure on Roy. He's making Roy fight sometimes when he doesn't want to fight. And he's been able to take the punches that Roy has hit him with and always to come right back.
Maybe what Johnson wanted to accomplish in round 1 was to put Jones back into a defensive frame of mind, knowing that Jones might want to come in here and do something spectacular.
Well, if that's was his goal, he did succeed in doing that, because Roy's whole mindset now is basically backing up, pot shotting every once in a while, and then for the most part trying to stay in the ropes and the rest.
Which is a great way to earn a 12-round decision, but not a great way to do something spectacular.
That's right, and he needs a spectacular win.
Quick left hook for Jones, landed as he backed up. Johnson shows no effects and jumps in with the right hand.
And in the past, Roy has had great success with that same combination right there. It's called a check left hook, where he pulls back and throws a hook as the opponent's coming in. But in this case here, it wasn't that effective. Well, Johnson landed a nice shot right here and there.
Hands are free. Punch it, get out of there.
Had a great conversation with Glen Johnson's promoter, Dan Goosen, moments before the start of the fight. And I said, Dan, it would be nice to be able to go in and try to out-energy Jones, but your man is 35 years old also. And Dan said, yes. He may be the same age as Jones, but he's not as rich as Jones. So he's much, much hungrier.
And he's fighting like that, too.
Yeah, and he himself said to us, the $1 million wasn't it. I don't feel my career is complete because I made a $1 million payday.
All right, body working good, Bob. Body working good. Keep that left shoulder. Keep that left shoulder. Keep that left shoulder. Keep that left shoulder up now when he's throwing it overhand right, okay? Okay. Like this. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. All right, Doc. On the answer.
Good? Can we maintain this pace? Yeah. If we can maintain this pace, we got this fight. That's what it's going to take. Keep working the way you're working. Watch the uppercut.
With Roy in the ropes, Glenn gets close to him and starts on a short overhand right just at the same time that Roy was shooting an uppercut. Definitely no-no when you're laying in the ropes. It's a shoot uppercut.
But Roy has always broken a lot of the rules. I mean, when you say a definite no-no, that's the kind of thing which has sometimes been an asset to Roy Jones, because his physical skills have allowed him to do things that other fighters shouldn't try to do.
Yeah, but right now it looked like his skills are slow just a little bit, and Johnson is fighting almost a perfect computer printout fight, putting pressure on, and his most effective punch still seems to be that little short jab.
And you heard Johnson's trainer, Orlando Cuellar, between rounds, who said, if you can keep up this pace, you've got this fight. Jones probably doesn't believe Johnson can keep up this pace.
I seriously have doubts myself at this stage here. I don't know if he can keep this pace up, but I agree. If he can keep this pace up, he's definitely going to be in the running for winning the decision.
Well, also, if he's the aggressor throughout, there are bound to be some rounds that are very close. It could help him get those rounds.
But you know it's going to go to Roy or any rounds that's close.
He thinks, Johnson does, that in order to get a decision, it would have to be a landslide. Logic tells you he's probably right. He's conditioned by experience to expect that. Watching the way Glen Johnson is fighting here, you might find it impossible to believe that, for instance, he lost 4 fights in a row.
Jones may be hurt
in
with his
99.
right hand.
He was hurt by the right hand.
And a left hook, and Jones shakes his head, which is almost always a surefire sign that the fighter is hurt and is trying to shake it off. Good double left hook by Jones. Good right hand body shot by Johnson. Misses a big right hand up there. Now Jones comes back with the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Right hand lands for Jones. Johnson goes to the body.
Roy Jones has never been in a firefight like this.
You know, he's a better puncher than Johnson, but, you know, Johnson is just outworking him right now.
Crowd is chanting, Roy, Roy, Roy. And he's coming back at Glen Johnson with serious firepower now. Johnson may be hurt.
Nope, Johnson is not hurt. He's got into some tremendous shots, and he's walking Roy right back down.
When a fighter gets old who has been a great boxer, dominating with boxing, he slows down just enough to get into some serious, exciting fights.
Well, it's already 5 of the most exciting rounds Roy Jones has ever experienced anywhere in his career. And the crowd is largely on its feet.
Well, it should.
Brand new arena.
This is a good fight, and Roy still is very dangerous in this fight.
Jones smiling and winking at his corner as he walks back. But early in the round, Glen Johnson had some moments that made Roy Jones look very precarious.
Give me some in the ring, a little from the middle of the ring, something. Now, don't stay in the ropes all the time. Okay, don't give him all he wants. Okay? Okay, you can switch it up, but don't stay on the ropes all the time.
Now, you're taking this out right now, G. Nice and relaxed. We got this? Glenn, do we have this? I need you to stay tight, baby. I need you to stay tight, just like you're doing. Work behind that jab. You got his ass. You got his number. All right? Keep your hands going. Don't let him get off like that.
Right here you see Glen Johnson landing the right hand that Roy just didn't see. Just a case of just playing the numbers game. Glen is throwing so many punches. And now you see Roy coming back with his lightning fast combinations.
There was a time when Roy Jones didn't get hit with those kinds of long punches.
Through round 5, CompuBox numbers find Glen Johnson having landed 73 out of 281. Jones landing 57 out of 203. Johnson throwing more, landing more, leading on Harold Letterman's card. Interesting drama developing here in Memphis. Kind of a phony war for the first minute of round 6. Both fighters seem to be getting a bit of a rest. But it's Johnson who calls the tune. If he wants to come after Jones, Jones won't get a rest.
This is this type of a fight that Roy likes to fight.
Now that Johnson's beginning to slow down a bit.
Yeah, but maybe Johnson just kind of taking a break. You know, it's pretty hard to maintain the pace that he had set for the entire fight.
I think both fighters wanted to take a minute off to begin round 6, and they did.
They wanted a 2-minute rest between rounds.
The kind of willpower, the kind of concentration, the kind of devotion that it's going to take for Jones to beat a hungry opponent like Glen Johnson. Does he still have it?
I believe that Roy has the ability to pull it out because he still seems to have mentally good focus. And his punches with still so much more accuracy and pinpoint power than Johnson does.
You can almost sense a certain kind of confusion or maybe disappointment in the crowd because they were looking for Roy Jones to put on an old Roy Jones show. And suddenly he's in a real fight.
Yes, it is. And no one expected this. This is supposed to have been this big outcome and a show fight for Roy, so to say.
Well, maybe Memphis is going to become a sort of boxing graveyard of legends. There was a fellow named Tyson who got buried by Lennox Lewis here, June 8, 2002. He had a big rep. Crowd was here to see him too. Johnson with a good 1-2 against the ropes.
10 seconds, work or get out of there.
Now muscling Jones back into the corner.
5 seconds.
Jones hasn't done much offensively in round 6. Watching from the crowd, Antonio Tarver kind of hoping for a third fight with Roy Jones, but so far, no evidence here that we're on the verge of heading toward Jones-Tarver 3. There's a lot of work to be done before that fight could be set up.
And the gentleman in the blue shirt there is the great Jerry West, who general manages the professional basketball team here.
Yep, the Memphis Grizzlies, who emerged as a junior contender, a contender in training for the Western Division crown last year.
All right, you got this. All right, stay busy. Don't give him room. Stay on him. As soon as he hits you once, you answer right back.
Halfway through, scheduled for 12 rounds in Memphis. Roy Jones comeback fight after being knocked out by Antonio Tarver. Jabs through round 6. Jones 5 out of 49. Johnson 26 out of 132. Another category in which Johnson is outnumbering Jones. Let's see if he's outnumbering him on Harold Letterman's scorecard.
Okay, Jim. I tell you, Jim, if Roy Jones loved me as much as I loved him, we'd be married. But I got to tell you, when you win, you win, and when you lose, you lose. 5 rounds to 1, 59-55, Glen Johnson. Clean punching, effective aggressiveness, taking him up on the ropes, and beating him up.
I have it 4 rounds to 2.
Either way, it's kind of difficult to fathom a scorecard that would have Jones in the lead, at least off what we've seen so far. But we are not working with globally recognized or experienced judges here. The judges are from Tennessee, Kentucky, and Mississippi. And the appearance of these kinds of judges at fights which take place at this level, pretty rare.
Especially when you're dealing with one of the top premier athletes in the world, in Roy Jones. You figure you'd have some very good experienced officials in here. World championship caliber officials. So let's just hope that we get good decisions. If it does, end up going to the decision tonight.
Crowd begins to boo as they expected more action. Now Jones steps in and puts a little left hook on the face of Glen Johnson. Jones missing underneath with the left hook. Johnson's just basically biding his time now. Probably feels as though he's built a lead on the scorecards and waiting to see what Jones is going to try to do about it.
Okay.
Not much is landing, but Jones isn't throwing much, and Johnson continues to hold the initiative.
I think a number of those punches are landing. Maybe not hard, but they're unanswered.
And the fact that Jones is landing the ropes too.
That right hand landed on Jones's face.
Step back, let him out. Let him out.
Well, it's one thing to smile and show us that you weren't hurt by the punch, but exactly What, RJ,
10 seconds.
is the plan for winning the fight? That's what's missing so far.
Roy still has not been able to sustain a good